Hey traders, John Howell here. I want to just cover, in today's video, I want to be covering the silver and gold and also some of the silver and gold mining stocks that's going on right now and some of my thoughts about what's going on. So let's go straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, let's get straight into it. So I want to cover, let's actually cover gold first. Gold is really interesting with what I'm actually seeing through here. So the first thing that I see happening with gold, and I know a lot of people are starting to get a bit worried about gold. And if you've watched my previous videos, you know that if you're investing in gold, you invest for the next couple of years, okay? Because you're going to get a lot of shake and bake that's happening right now. This week could be down. You know, we could go for another drop for another week. And then suddenly by June, we're making all-time new highs. You know what I mean? Like you just never know when that turning point is going to happen. So don't try and time the market when it comes to gold unless you are going off a pattern, you know, some sort of system that you're trading. And that's the way, for me personally, that's the way that I personally trade the markets. I have my investing positions in some of these here. And when I'm actually trading for an income, I actually look for a pattern. Now, it's the most highest probability pattern on the planet, especially when it sets up perfectly. If you'd like to learn that, then jump on my training, go to johnsfreetraining.com and you'll be able to learn, you know, how I trade the markets and the pattern I use. But if you're investing in gold, then what you want to do is you want to just be buying and hold. So right now, on a short-term basis, let's have a look at this here. So firstly, what actually happened? We got a bit of a flush down, didn't we? It actually didn't break to the upside of this here. We actually broke to the downside of this support level. Now, there's a few things that I'm keeping an eye out here when it comes to the short-term movement on gold. The first thing that I am noticing when it comes to gold is we broke that $1,760 level. We broke down, and then suddenly, what happened? What's happening right now is we're holding here. So, is this a bit of a what we call a end of trend indicator? I'm waiting to see that. See what happens a lot of the times. And I'm not saying this is going to be, we need to wait and see. What happens a lot of the times is that the market loves to find a support, and flush it down to, you know, which actually what it did through here, to run a lot of stops, because there would have been a lot of stops through there, and actually potentially get people short as well too. And then the market turns around and starts to do something like that. I call it like a slingshot pattern where the market pulls back and then slingshots to the upside. And I'll give you an example of a trade that I did a while ago on CGC on that exact same pattern. So if I go back to here, this was just late last year. And as you can see what actually happened here, right? So the market found a lot of support all through here. This is CGC stock. I'm just giving you an example of what the pattern looks like on the charts, right? So we have a lot of support through here. We flushed down, see how it held, and then we got rallied right back, and then we rallied right back above the support level, actually both support levels through here. And then this arrow is obviously where I entered, and then we made a very nice move to the upside. And as you can see, that was a complete trend reversal. So if I go back to my gold chart, this is the gold chart again, then it's going to be really interesting to see whether we do start to see something like that or not. Because we've got actually a very similar pattern to the CGC setup that I traded late last year. And I actually love trading these because it gives me a high probability of an end of trend. And if it does, we can start to see a very nice move. Again, like the CGC example there. So be really interested to see that. Now, if we do continue on the downside here and a little bit more of a downside movement, then on the big picture, the massive picture that I see, we actually have a long, if I bring up my weekly chart here for a minute, we can see that on the long-term weekly charts, we have this support level down through here. And then if the market does pull back through here, then we're probably going to find a lot of support. So I don't expect gold to have an enormous drop to the downside, you know, and all the way down to say 1500. I don't expect that. We're still in a very big overall bull market. So even if we did have a little bit more of a drop to the downside when it comes to gold, that sort of 1700 area is probably likely to be a significant support level. So be really interesting to see what's going on right now when it comes to gold's price. You can see this is the hourly chart. We had a rally down and now we're getting a bit of a strong rally up. Do the sellers knock it down again, or do we just keep rallying up out of here and start to get it back above here? That'd be really powerful for the bulls. So that's the short-term basis there, guys. And so that's what I'm seeing through there. If I go to my go to the silver chart now, you can see that silver overall is building up into a bit of a triangle pattern. So this is actually quite interesting to see what silver's doing here. So silver is about to make a massive move. A massive move is about to come in silver. Now it could be down silver. Now guys, I'm a long-term bull with silver myself, but I've actually got money in silver. So, but the thing is that these triangle patterns don't particularly mean that we're going to see a movement to the upside. We could actually get a drop to the downside and see a flush to the downside. Now, if that happens, I'll be buying more. But looking at silver here right now, we're holding here very, very, very strongly. You can see this $30 level has been a very sort of strong resistance level. And we can see that now on the weekly chart. You can see once again, look through here. So if we did get a drop to the downside, there's that major support level where it actually found that major sort of support level around that $22 level, possibly even down towards that low. So that's going to be quite interesting to see whether we do get a drop to the downside through there or not. But if we do start to hold here and we start to see a nice solid close above 30, then where is it likely to go to? Let's actually do some projections right here live on the spot. So we have the long-term support level coming through here. And again, guys, this is just looking at the patterns and so on and so forth. You can see that, again, for me personally, I like to invest in the market, so long-term investing. And then I also like to use different patterns to trade the markets. If you'd like to learn how I trade the market with my number one trading pattern, then just go to johnsfreetraining.com and I'll teach you all the details to it. To my trading setup and all the details to it, so you can start to utilize it. But if we're looking at silver right now, I would say that silver is probably likely to use, say, this high here for more of a conservative approach. And if I'm looking at silver, look at this look at the triangle pattern that's been built in here. So if we start to break above here and get back above, or if we get back above $30 this time, we're holding here quite strongly. If we do get back above $30, then what I like to do is, let me see if I can just draw some more trend lines here to see what trend line is more valid. Now, guys, when I'm drawing my trend lines, I just draw them from everywhere. So let me do this here. So the first thing is I'll draw this very bottom one from this absolute low to absolute high, and I'll draw that through there. I'm like, oh, well, that's actually pretty powerful, isn't it? Look at this here. Support here, support, bounce there, bounce there. So that's actually pretty powerful trend line. Let me see if I can find anything else that's going to be pretty powerful. No, that's not it. You know what? I'm just going to use this one here. So we have an ascending triangle pattern. And what I like to do is I like to draw it from the absolute sort of maximum point to where the first resistance was. And I'm going to draw it straight down towards this line through there. So I'm going to use that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find that resistance around that resistance line where it's had a lot of problems. And I'm going to find this support level here. Then I'm going to project that up just like so. Just like so from there. And then I'm going to bring this down through to here. So that tells me that there looks like there's a $40. Look at that there. Pretty much smack on $40. Maybe even a bit higher from that level there when it comes to silver. So to me, guys, it looks like that if we can start to really break above $30 here, we're probably going to have an enormous move to the upside of around, say, $40 on silver. Now, the interesting thing about silver is that we've got a $30 resistance. What about $20? Is $20 a resistance level for silver? Let's go back over time here. It's probably just slightly below 20. You can see this just slightly below, just slightly below 20 has actually been a pretty strong resistance level. And the reason I'm saying this, guys, is that sometimes you can see these pretty sort of odd numbers. So we have, like sort of numbers through here. So if I go down to the $10 level, and the $10 wasn't one. So if we went down to sort of the $12 there, so it looks like, okay, so I'm just trying to find, and this is actually quite interesting, guys, when you're looking at the market, sometimes you can get sort of the even numbers with the support level. So if I look at $12 is a major support level, and then $10 above that, which is 22, is a major support level, and then 32, no, not 32 is a support level, no. So it's probably, it's not exactly even there. but you can see what I'm trying to do there. So it's probably $8 to $10. Every $8 to $10 is a significant resistance level there. This one here from 12 to sort of 20, maybe a bit lower than that, and then so on and so forth. So that tells me if we break 30, we have a $38 to $40 target coming in silver. So that's what I'm seeing through there, guys, when it comes to gold and silver. If we go and have a look at the GDXJ is continuing down, and they're starting to roll over again right now. I don't see too much of a downside coming out of the gold mining stocks, guys. And again, we may continue to see a little bit more of a downward move, but I don't see too much happening on there. I'm very long-term bullish on that, and same with the GDX as well too. I see a lot more upside coming soon, especially if we get a bit more of a downside coming out of this here, guys. They're probably going to be swooped up big time by the big boys. And SILJ, same for the actual silver market itself, is that we're just in this one big massive triangle pattern once again, and same for the SIL as well too. Bit of a triangle pattern happening there. So that's what I'm seeing there, guys, when it comes to the overall the overall stock market and the overall silver and gold. That's what I'm seeing through there, guys. It's really interesting to see what's going on right now. I'm long-term, even if we do get a bit of a short-term movement on the downside, I'm definitely long-term bullish on the metals right now, especially because we are in a very big bull market. If you just look at gold right now and we go to that weekly chart, you can see we're definitely in a very big bull market. So even though we're getting still a very long-term, so a bit of a short-term pullback in this very big sort of couple of year bull market we're in, I believe the big boys are going to start to pick up gold real soon, and we're going to start to see some nice moves out of that. So your patience is required when it comes to silver and gold. So hope this helped you out today, guys. Once again, if you'd like to learn how I trade the markets, I'm running a free trading, and I'm going to walk you through all the details. So all the details to my trading system, how I actively trade the markets, what sort of patterns am I looking for, and I'm going to walk you through that. Just go to johnsfreetraining.com and I'll be able to help you out through there. Subscribe, like, guys, and I'll see you guys real soon.